Okay, hi guys. So this video is going to be a turnout exercise. So I'm going to give you some strengthening movements to do to work on your turnout. This is great to do to stay in shape over the summer, but it's also great to do for just maximizing that turnout. So a couple of things about that. So your turnout obviously is how far your hips can rotate in the hip socket. So if you were not holding it, if you were just moving it yourself, you obviously have a lot of turnout, so we all can kind of push our hips open, but we need our muscles to be strong enough to hold them there. And so that's what the bar is for, right? The bar is not for balance, because you don't practice balance by holding on to things, you practice balance by not holding on to things. Oh, Dad is playing it. I'm trying to use my dad's Spotify account, and I bet he's using it somewhere else. So how do you sign out of this? Just go back. So the purpose of bar is to stabilize that maximum turnout so that when you go in the center, you're strong enough to hold those turnout positions without the bar, without holding on to anything. And so that's why when you're at the bar, it's really important that you're always working with your healthy, like not forcing it, right? Your natural maximum turnout, so that you're gaining that strength so that you can hold your muscles there, right? So that's like when you're in passe, being able to get that knee side, or when you extend into a second position for fouette turns, or just for whatever, for extensions, you don't look like this, but that you can hold it turned out and stabilize that. And so yeah, so these are just really good exercises to strengthen those muscles, so that you can, first of all, finding the muscles. Sometimes the muscles are hard to find because they're so small, right? So those muscles that your turnout muscles is you're using your hamstring and your inner thigh muscles, and because those muscles are smaller, what happens is your quad muscles take over. But your quad muscles can't help you turn out, right? They aren't your turnout muscles. So that happens a lot when we have our leg in second. When you're holding your leg like this, it's your quad muscle holding you up. You need to engage the turnout muscles by turning out. And then when I do that, if you're holding it like this, it's like, oh yeah, I could hold this for days. But then when you turn out, I automatically feel not only my supporting leg engaged, but my standing leg then has to be really engaged. So that's really crucial. Hey, why can't I log in on yours?
I don't know.
Okay, whatever. I guess we're going to do this in the silence.
Oh, it might be because I changed my password.
Probably. All right, well. All right, so what we're going to do is find a step. So hopefully you guys have stairs somewhere. If you don't, you could probably do it on the floor, but you just have to obviously hold your leg out a little higher. So try to find something. I would not recommend standing on like something that's unstable. So make sure it's a stable thing so that you don't fall over. So what you're just going to start out by doing is you have your supporting leg parallel on your step. You want to make sure that everything is still engaged, so don't just be like, okay, I'm working this leg, my left leg or right leg or whatever leg you're starting with, so I don't have to engage anything else. Make sure that the back of your leg is engaged, that you're over the ball of your foot, and that your abdominals are engaged as well, because that's kind of a part of turnout. It's not really a part of turnout, but it is a part of the stability, right? So you need to have all of that in alignment and engaged and strong. So we're just going to turn out from the hip socket. So I want you to don't think about turning your foot out. I want you to think about going from the hip socket and pulling from the inner thigh. So you don't want to be engaging, you want to be engaging everything, but you want the movement to come from the inner thigh and the back of the leg. So pretend that there's like a string connected to like the inseam of your pants or even the back of your thigh, and it's like pulling out and then coming in, right? So that's where you want to initiate from. So really focus on the movement. Don't just do it. Focus on like the muscle that you're using and engaging, and try to get really like an awareness, like a body awareness of where that movement's coming from. So we're going to do 8 with a pointed toe and then 8 with it flexed. Okay, so they're going to be a little bit slower. Ready? So make sure that's pointed, everything's engaged, the backs of the legs are engaged, and turn out and in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you also want to kind of hold it there for a second, right, to make sure that you're really maximizing as much as you can. Now flex. Think about that energy going through the heel as you flex the foot. And then same thing, focus on that muscle that's engaging in order to get that, that leg turned out from the top. Almost there. One more. Good. All right, switch. Let's do the other side. So same thing, check your alignment, make sure everything is on top of each other. Your weight is over the ball of your foot on your standing leg so that you can keep everything engaged to the back of the body. Point the toe and turn out. All right, now flex the energy coming through the heel of the foot, and then we turn those toes out. And hold. Good. Now for our next exercise, we're going to do a low attitude starting in parallel. So your standing leg is still parallel and this one is still parallel. You can angle yourself on the stair a little bit, and we're just going to turn that leg out from that position. So you want to go from parallel to a nice turned out position. Now this is an exercise where you really want to be careful that you're not relying on your hip flexors. If your hip flexors start to hurt in a way where that just feels wrong. Like you want to feel the burn, that's good. But if there starts to feel like any pain or discomfort in the hips, just skip this exercise and stop, or go back to the other one and repeat it. Because we don't want you to be in pain or to like mess with, hypermobile hips or whatever. So we start like this, toe is pointed, and then we just turn out, and make sure your foot isn't sickled. Out and in. This is 3, 4. You can put your hand on your hip for extra support. 5, 6. I feel all the muscles down my leg working, even my calf muscle. 7, 8. Now hold it, bring it a little bit higher. We're just going to do 4 in a higher attitude. Hold. Good. Let's do the other side. So low attitude in parallel and turn out for 1. Remember, we're still engaging from the inner thigh. So we're not turning out because the foot is moving. We're turning out because the inner thigh is engaging and turning out from the hip socket. So you want to think not the foot just coming here, but the upper leg is turning out, which is making the foot move. All right, lift it higher and do 4 higher. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, feel that engagement. All right, awesome. Our next exercise is going to be on the floor. So you can go ahead and find a good space. I have my yoga mat already set up. So you're going to lay on the floor. And kind of like our floor bar exercises a couple of videos ago, except this one is going to be less involved because we want to focus just specifically on that turnout. So my calves are definitely a little tight, so it hurts even to flex like this. So you're just going to turn out, and then you're going to come in and turn out. But you want to, again, rotate from the upper thighs, not from the feet. So you don't want to think, oh, turn my feet out, turn in, because then you're not getting that maximum turnout and seeing how far your hips actually can go with your turnout. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on moving from this area, your turnout muscles, and not just your feet turning. So your feet move as a result of the tops of your legs moving. All right, so we're just going to do that. Let's do it 8 times with pointed feet and then 8 times with flexed feet. So we'll start with pointed. So we're pointed and parallel, and then turn out. 2, 3, 4. Make sure that your lower back is on the floor, so pulling your navel to the spine. 6, 7, feel it really working the inner thighs. 8, hold, flex, and then bring it parallel and open for 1, 2, 3, 4. You should start to feel it in those inner thighs. 6, maybe in the core as well. 7, 8. All right, go ahead, bring it to a happy baby pose, stretch it out a little bit gently. All right, how many minutes do we got, Katie?
11.
11, okay. So we'll go ahead and stop there. You can go ahead and repeat that whole exercise again, just to get more strength. So make sure never force it if it hurts, and always focus on moving from the inner thighs and the backs of the thighs, not from the feet and not from the quads. So you want to make sure that you're trying how to engage those muscles without engaging your quad muscles as much. And never, and it's important too when you're at the bar, you should never be ashamed of like where your turnout is. Some people just have natural like 180 turnout. Some people who don't even dance just have really good turnout. And then some people who have been dancing all their lives, it's fine, but I think what is really important is that you hold that maximum turnout, because it's not only about like being like, oh, how far can I get my, feet in first position, or how turned out can I be? It helps you to be able to execute your dance moves right. So if you watched my pirouette video, I was saying one thing that I realized with my pirouettes is that when I was doing them from 5th, I don't think I was engaging my turnout muscles in my plie, so that when I went up, I could tell that my passe position wasn't as far side as it could go with the correct muscles, and because of that, I felt more wobbly, because like I always say, like when you try to pick up a child or like a dog or something that doesn't want to be picked up, and they like make their limbs go flat, it's so much harder than when they're lifted and when they want to be picked up, right? They feel so much lighter when they're like, ready, and they put their legs around you and you can just hold them, because they want to be lifted. And so you kind of have to transfer that to your own body and figure out, a lot of times what's happening is that you're not engaging those muscles and the backs of the legs in your plie position. Therefore, that's not going to be engaged when you go up to your passe position, and it's going to throw you off. At least it does for me. And so it's all about problem solving, but in a lot of cases, it's just about strengthening those muscles so that you know how to find them, so that you can strengthen them, and learn how to rely on those muscles and not your quads, not your hip flexors, right? So yeah, hopefully that helps. Oh, my clam exercise from that, I did an abdominal video probably the first week of video classes. That's a really awesome one to engaging those positions too. So you can pair this video with that workout to get core and turnout and just back of the leg strength. So yeah, have fun, and yeah, be safe. Don't hurt yourself.